might add. Now, I think Demo and I have got kind of conflicting opinions as to how this one's going to go, which is nice. I always like a little bit of, a little bit of variety.
Yep.
You're Team FaZe, aren't you?
Yeah. You are, also your Team MIBR, so...
I'm not sure if I'm Team MIBR as much as I'm just... I really want FaZe to prove something to me. Do you know what I mean? I'm not supporting MIBR as much as I'm sort of looking at FaZe and going, you guys really need to do something tonight.
Yeah, I think FaZe going into obviously Liquid last week was a victory. Wasn't the cleanest though. I think every side wants to go in and just 7-0. Yeah, that's it. If you know you go in and you win a map 7-0, you've done so well. You know that's perfect. That's a perfect game. Whereas if it's scrappy, if it's close, if it's down to the wire, you're always gonna be thinking, oh, we could have won that a lot easier if we did this round. Oh, if we did that round. I think FaZe have a lot of those moments. FaZe always take it to OT. FaZe never make it easy for themselves. But I think it will be overtime today. I think both of these sides are fairly evenly matched. I think MIBR coming into it, this is their first big test that's coming back. Without the controller player. Now you have a full 5 PC setup, so yeah, it's just going to be interesting.
Speaking of things of note, Reduct on the good old Chanka. Now, it isn't that unusual to see a Tachanka brought if a smoke is banned or not being played, but we've got the smoke as well, Demo. So really doubling down on that area denial. MIBR are that team that have been trying to bring Tachanka into lineups. Probably, I'd say, a little bit more so than any other team. Something that I know that you've been critical of, and rightly so. It isn't always something that's so consistent, but I think one of the nice things about Tachanka versus a smoke is that you're actually able to bounce the Molotovs off things. So you can bounce them off a door frame, you can bounce them off a ceiling, and it just gives you a little bit more safety when you're trying to deny that area, as opposed to having to pretty much face check something and then throw a canister at it.
So, MIBR really set up. Have the main stairs. As expected, this is where Flores is quite the issue for the defenders. Whenever you're used to seeing a lot of utility for Villa, Flores can put an end to a lot of that utility very, very quickly. Has already used 2 drones. Got 1 shield, but unfortunately could not get the Banshee. It was shot. Still has 2 more, and he decides to rotate over to the rest of his team. I am curious to see if FaZe are going to opt for the Vault Wall. We've highlighted this a few times, Ollie. Teams do not want to open that wall anymore. They just don't. They just want to try and flood in through to Aviator, and that is it. Nothing else, nothing more.
I think that there was an early attempt, not on the vault wall, but on the site wall into games. I think Souls threw his Selmas on pretty early on into the round from the rappel. They were shot off by fouls. You'll note that Souls has got 2 Selmas left, so I think that's where we can expect one of them to have been used. So it wasn't quite on the vault wall, but it was in the area. It was at least warm. It was getting hot. But I agree with you, Dom. I'd like to see more pressure on toward that vault wall. Maybe we're going to see it here, but Raps, you might have something to say about it. Lands his shots on to Bullet. It wasn't pretty, but it got the job done. Now the vault wall will start to be opened as the Selmas are deployed there. Cameraman going to be on the rappel watching, but Raps is still out there on the roam, and now FaZe's attention has to be turned. They can no longer solely focus on the site, and they need to be mindful. There's a chance they're going to get flanked here.
Yeah, the flank protection is not there right now from FaZe, and may cost them in the long run. MIBR, they're happy enough to still play with the utility they have. That shield looks right onto Study balcony. Sable's the man playing in the Study, so Astro can't really do much from this position. And there is still that main stairs control in hands of MIBR. This is not looking good for FaZe whatsoever. All the pieces are starting to fall now for MIBR. Vault wall will be fully open, so we can see the Ace just walk straight on in, which Souls is going to attempt to do. And oh, Faust has no idea he's there. Souls has made a great play. Fleapok should have the refrag, and yes, he will. Diffuser is going to be called in the middle of Vault. And MIBR start picking up the kills left, right, and center. Astro tries to flick onto Raps, but he's too quick. That Jaeger hits him where it hurts, which I think was expected.
Raps has played a great round there. He's been able to get the opening kill in terms of a flank and a bit of a lurk. He's then proceeded to stay alive for the entirety of the round to pick up that final kill and come in and just hit FaZe where it hurts. There were a lot of things inside of that round that FaZe either didn't do or only half did. They were able to open up the vault wall, and yes, it was a really big entry on into sight. They were able to take down fouls. They removed the smoke. That a couple of Toxic Babe canisters had already been used, but still, it was a good position to be in. Then the problems really started to begin. Taking the diffuser into vault and losing it there, never going to be ideal. You're never going to recover that. You're not then going to be able to get the plant down. You're forced to grab all the kills. And guess what? You can't grab all the kills when somebody like Raps has played a blinder out there on the roam and is only going to present himself when it suits him. Not a chance in the world that FaZe were going to come away with that round. As soon as that execute started to happen, MIBR had an answer for everything. And I quite liked the addition of the Tachanka as well as the smoke, because they were actually able to deny quite a lot of area with operators in separate locations, still holding angles, still performing a job, instead of one smoke player spreading himself really thinly.
So, FaZe, simple stuff really caught them there. Has to be said. Not really dumping, I think, as much utility as they needed to in towards study to really eliminate main stairs. I think Vault Wall opening up, I think it works for them. You can see it creates the pressure. And if you're opening Vault Wall, you need to go heavy on study, because once that Vault Wall's open, I think as a defender, you gotta get pushed into lines of sight. If there is somebody in the study, it kind of forces you into that area. So I think they just need to go in hard. They really do. Just don't give MIBR the space. That's the mistake that I think NIP did to T1, is that they gave T1 too much space, and they kind of abused that. Take it to them. It is a very claustrophobic site in many ways. Use that.
Cyber going to be out there trying to clear out that roam. He's already taken a bit of damage as he points his attention toward those east stairs. Site is being droned out as well, but MIBR have always been that slippery team that's never easy to try and get a handle of. Souls and Cameraman, they seem to have some anti-slip gloves as they are able to pick up the first two, make it 3 kills here for FaZe. We've not even seen half the round, and it was threatening to be a flawless. Redux has something to say about it, but eventually will be taken down. Cyber, great little play there on the stairs. Skeleton key and a flashbang. The plant, excuse me, already going down. A round that just fell apart before it really even started.
Yeah, it did. FaZe being able to pick up their kills. I mean, that's one thing about FaZe, is that they have the gun skill. You know, they've shown us that plenty of time. Not afraid to get crazy, Ollie. Yeah, they can play a variety of operators, have a very deep operator pool, and they have some insane stuff. You have to be on your toes whenever you're against FaZe. All the time. You have to be ready for them.
FaZe are certainly one of those teams that are very capable of being unpredictable. And that's one of the things. It's a good trait to have, you know, unpredictability. It's very, very underrated. I think in that round, particularly, FaZe displayed that very well. MIBR maybe just feeling a little bit too confident, spreading themselves out there on the roam with multiple players operating solo. Not a lot of trade potential coming in. And FaZe took themselves around. At least it isn't shaping up like the previous games that we've seen. We've seen quite a lot of stomps tonight, Demo. And I think it's high time we had a good old competitive game.
I told you it's going to be competitive. Told you. This is 100% going to be an overtime. I'm telling you now, Ollie. Not having it any other way between these two sides. 1-1 is how we stand. See who takes the lead now in this next round as we go once again. Stairs. Statuary this time, and what have MIBR got in store for us? They've a little bit of a softer hold in towards Aviator and Games. They're not fully holding it, but they do have some utility to maybe swing from. The Renegade will be eliminated. Ooh, Astro. It's a glimpse of a figure. Well, it's going to be fouls in the smoke, and also 90 has been taking control of FaZe, so they're going to push in straight from south. They made quick work off anyone inside of 90. Now, all they really have to do, Ollie, is just clear out red stairs, and they're in a very, very good spot to start setting up their execute.
Vertical angles being held as well, as Astro has got himself into the vault and has been able to open up those lines of sight. I don't suppose that MIBR are going to give things up too easily inside of this round. They were turfed out very quickly previously. Bullet able to gather a lot of information and actually gets the Flores drone all the way through. Manages to destroy the Goyo shield. Still a long way to go. Babe Canister going to deny access for a time. Lukid ever threatening on the stairs. He will be droned out here and has a bit of a decision to make. Still getting caught out on the red ping. Does he know? No, he doesn't. Astro, he was waiting very patiently there just to remove Lukid's head. Opening kill this time going in favor of FaZe.
Yeah, looking good for FaZe right now. Have a minute to do so. See the rotate from Fleapox up the red stairs. He give himself away though, that barbed wire. Make a bit of a rustle. Nobody really moved at the moment. MIBR in a bad position. Ooh, two people waiting. Redact to go for that swing again, but he's now playing safe, but they know his positioning. This is good information being gained by FaZe, but Ollie cannot open that main breach. Just surprising considering that we're seeing a map now whenever Thatcher is available, and walls still be an issue. It is strange. Cameraman finds a nade. The one to reduct. That was the man in statue gone. But Felipox, we see him rotate there over earlier. And Fouls and Raps also fine too. All of a sudden, Ollie, FaZe, they've crumbled at the seams.
Bullet has a lot of work to do here. Is he going to be able to find the first? The answer is going to be no. Raps holding on. There's only a couple of places that Bullet can be coming from there. And with 3 members of MIBR left alive, the odds were always stacked in their favor. You mentioned at the time demo, during the final few seconds there, the lack of a Thatcher. It's crazy to me how much we see Thatcher being banned. Then when available, not chosen. It genuinely blows my mind. Because in a different round, FaZe bring a Thatcher there and they are able to get the wall open. They are able to start pressuring on in. But instead they're just making things kind of unnecessarily hard for themselves.
Yeah, it is strange. Thatcher being open, it doesn't happen. It's happened, what, twice now in Villa? We've seen it be executed by NIP. I don't know if that's a good comparison, to be fair. I don't know if we can compare how NIP played tonight, but Thatcher is up. Bring him. You know a team's going to bring Kite. Kite is a great operator for this map. Some of the tricky Kite claws that you can get are very difficult to deal with. Just bring the Thatcher. Like you said, Ollie, it's a time saver. It helps out a lot.
Time's certainly something that FaZe could do with a little bit more of. They have been struggling so far in these rounds. Everything aside from the second round where it was a little bit of a speed run. If it's a slow and drawn out execute, FaZe could do with an extra few seconds in that to really give themselves a better opportunity at getting everything that they need to do done. Still fairly close, 2-1 currently for MIBR. Kind of playing as you would expect a Villa to play. MIBR going to be back upstairs in Aviator and Games room. Obviously losing once upstairs, it satisfies that 3-round rotation parameter and they can get themselves back into Aviator Games. FaZe are of course going to know this and they're going to look to take advantage of that fact. Now they previously were able to push on through and get the vault wall open, and they did so successfully. somebody that caused a lot of problems was Raps. Now, Cyber is going to be the first one to find an opening kill here as Lukid gets taken out on the roam. Lukid's been occupying some fairly dangerous positions so far today. He's going to be lost first here. So it gives Raps less of a chance to make that hero play out on the flank and be that real big menace. And you can already see Raps making moves to look to rotate back on through.
So last time for FaZe, they tried to target that vault wall very heavily, Ollie, didn't they? And didn't really work out for them. Wasn't enough pressure and study, enough pressure on towards the main stairs, but this time they've really changed their approach. They've went for a very classic main stairs take where they have a lot of pressure going in from below. You're going to have Bullet just applying a little bit of heat to fouls, knowing that there's a man in study who could swing in at any time. That could happen. Kind of forces Philippox as well now into a bit of a predicament because he has to stay on that study door. He can't move, and this for FaZe with the man advantage, they can really start to look for holes in the defense. Off MIBR. At the moment, they're playing things slow. Looks as if Souls will engage onto Rack. So, once again, good information being gained. They pretty much know every position from MIBR at this stage, Ollie, and FaZe are looking to capitalize on that.
FaZe are doing a really good job of gathering information here, as you say. The Iana, the Flores drones, and of course the regular drones, all giving them everything that they need. Raps finds a kill, but it's pretty much impactless as he gets traded 1-for-1 directly. Valz has an idea of where that kill came in from, but he's still in a 1 versus 3. He's got 30 seconds to try and hold on, and he will be full white flashed. Cyber crouching through in behind maps is going to be able to pick up that final kill. FaZe starting to slow things down, starting to look very considered here on Villa.
Yeah, looking just to work their way in, and I think they've done very well to read the game all. I think information was great from them, positioning. Also, just as soon as they know where one player is, Ollie, they hit them so hard. That's exactly what happened, so another bit of a stumble there for MIBR. Looks if they're going to go back up there again. We'll see if they change anything. Anything from FaZe? I mean, FaZe haven't been too, I want to say too crazy for what their standards is, Ollie. Pretty decisive in terms of how they've been playing these attacks. Very straight to the point. Not mucking about. I think utility usage has been good as well. Been good from FaZe so far.
They've looked a little bit different, haven't they? You know, they're not going for as many of these sort of, not wacky picks, but their operator lineup is slowly but surely becoming something more toward what you would expect. You know, maybe the only thing that they're lacking here is a little bit of flank protection, but they've got pretty much every other box ticked. Even so much as bringing the Thatcher inside of this round. Criticism that we've had previously and we've pointed in their direction, and Astro this time has gone, yep, we're going to play the Thatcher. We're going to try and make this even easier for ourselves. Because everything else is really starting to click at the moment of FaZe. Their information gathering in particular, Demo, is something you've commented on. It's really working out quite well for them. MIBR have seemingly got nowhere to hide.
Yeah, that's what they're kind of struggling with at the moment. Said FaZe just capitalize so well on any openings that they have. They will punish teams very, very heavily. The Maestro camera is being used. I wonder if that's going to help them out a little bit, Ollie. Just to see if that can apply just any pressure, maybe give them more opportunities to swing. FaZe, again, I think keeping MIBR on their toes. They're going for another approach that is slightly different. They've just opened up the breach straight away. They brought the Thatcher, which we questioned why that wasn't there before. And now they have a clear line of sight in the vault. So, again, they've changed up their approach.
FaZe didn't waste any time this time getting the study wall open either, which is a nice early advantage to have. As though they're paying a lot more attention to the roamers as well, given that Souls is currently droning, Cyber looking to hold him. There is going to be a player behind the desk inside of Astronomy. Please tell me it isn't a missed drone. Nope, it won't be. Drone will be taken out. The hatch open, ready to drop. Lukid in position inside a master bedroom. Try and take advantage here as well. Not sure if the drone got as far as Lukid, so there's potential for that not to be a known. Cameraman looking to try and clear out underneath with the assistance of Cyber. Cyber on the skeleton key. Could look to try and act vertically here. Philippok's going to be on the half stairs. The clone does get shot, but then Cyber goes for the swing. Philippok is ready and waiting. He'll net himself one. Luke picks one up onto Souls. This roam game is wasting a ton of time here for FaZe. It has been unsuccessfully cleared. MIBR this time able to land the shots.
Grenade being tossed up. Philippok has to now move from his position on red stairs, and I think Bullet was hoping to find a scrap, but in FaZe they've lost their opening engagements anyway, and that puts them in a very difficult spot, Ollie. I think MIBR can do anything to pull it back, but no, at the moment it's good for MIBR. You know, it looks as if they just want to try and clean it out, try and take a flawless round. 2 players left, and realistically, Cameraman, Astro, what can they do? Not much. They are so far away from the bomb site. Philippok is ready for one. Cameraman will eliminate Philippok, but still 4 more to find. Ooh, Astro peeks up, sees 2 of them inside of Astro, and Cameraman, finds a double, but then again, Ollie, I think time is against them. They have to quickly run in and try and go for the plant, but not enough time. There you go, Cameraman BK's Astro, but yeah, just MIBR didn't even sweat.
Well, it was a nice shot, but it was onto the wrong team, Cameraman. Again, it was a close and scrappy round there toward the end, but you've got to think about the mindset of the players on the side of MIBR when those final seconds are coming in, and they know that they've got 2 players on the site that are untouched. You know the location of the final 2 FaZe members, and that isn't something that's gonna be possible. They can't traverse that distance in the time remaining to be able to pick up the kills. And as long as a couple of people are playing safe on the site, MIBR can really challenge to the heart's content there for that one. Philippok did a great job, not only on the stairs, but also making that rotation back into sight. It just forced a little bit more of a push out of Cameraman. See the round just not really coming to all much in the end. Still chance for an equal 3-3 split here, and I guess aside from the first round demo, it kind of feels like when it rains it pours. You know, we've seen FaZe pick up an easy rush round and that seemed to come with them with no obstacle, and we've seen MIBR do the same out there on the roam previously in round number 5. So certainly a close game that we've got on our hands here, and one that, you may be right, could go all the distance.
Yeah, back and forth as it goes, and I wonder if that trend will keep up. FaZe will try and have an even split. Keep in mind, this is defender-sided. Well, at least it's supposed to be anyway on a map like Villa. Well, 3-3 would be very, very strong from FaZe. Then again, MIBR, they've shown us what they can do on some of their attacking rounds, and it has been great to see them back in form. We will finish things off on a kitchen defense. How will this play out for MIBR and FaZe? How will they respond? I mean, FaZe, they're very spread out, Ollie, aren't they? They're all over the place, and I want to say that the refrags has kind of been lacking out in that department because of that. Like, we're seeing, what, 4 people on different sides of the map right now?
Yeah, then the refrags have certainly picked up for MIBR over the last couple of rounds. And I think that realizing how well that roam game works and how much time it takes away from FaZe, and then all of a sudden they commit more bodies into that roam game, it makes it just even more difficult for FaZe to try and deal with. It's been a good adaptation from MIBR so far. You think about round 1, we started with Raps just out there on his own, and then you think back to the previous round, and everybody from the side of MIBR was out there in some capacity or another. So it's something that's worked for them. It's something they're no doubt going to try and continue to do inside of this round. But again, as you say, FaZe look very split up here, and they've not got a clear focus so far. You would expect by, you know, the sort of halfway point in the round that you would have a good couple of people getting in and establishing that top floor presence. Cameraman, he's got taken out by Raps. He carelessly rotated in through into Study. Astro comes in with the trade. Philippok's in a pretty dangerous position here with the shotgun, but he's going to need a little bit more than that as 2 more kills fly on and make it 3 for FaZe. 4 versus 2 as the site can now start to be pressured. Astro picks up an easy one onto Raps. And as if by magic, the plant will be confirmed. Lukin, he's going to be the last player alive above. Makes the drop, but meets his fate. As Cyber is ready and waiting to collect him as well.
Good round from FaZe. Very, very good round. I think being able, again, just to analyze where the positionings of some of the MIBR players and taking those gunfights. FaZe, they're not afraid today. Like, they will swing anything they want. They've been hitting their shots, equally, of course, so of MIBR. That's why it is an even game at the moment. And I think even is as well as it gets. This sums up this matchup very, very well. Both sides adapting, I think, to each other extremely well. Also, you can see the changes happening every single round from the attacker perspective to try and just counter what the defense are trying to do. And yeah, it's been a good match so far to watch, Ollie. And overtime, I'm telling you, we're headed there. We're going to overtime.
Certainly are if the trend continues, exiting the first phase at a 3-3 split. FaZe now on the defense. See how they choose to approach. Bringing that information game. Valkyrie cameras on Bullet are going to be important as, you know, Valkyrie and Villa. It's a match made in heaven, it really is. There's so many nooks and crannies, so many sort of bits of clutter that you can hide those cameras in. Really does make it quite easy. Cyber, they're going to capture himself a drone as well, as there was a nice pre-place there from MIBR, but wasn't nice enough. Maybe a couple of outside cameras here from Bullet as he gets himself nice and prepped. Going to give an indication as to where the push is coming from. Maybe, just maybe, something to peek out of at a later point. For now, we wait. Cyber's going to be playing downstairs inside a living room. Felipox nearly got caught on the jump in there.
Nearly did as well. Be careful. FaZe on their defense. Valkyrie being brought in. That was a massive operator we've seen in the last game for Team 1, and they've really abused those cameras and just how strong they can be in many instances. So, if it plays out the same way, Valkyrie being abused. FaZe, a little bit of a softer roam game, nothing too committed. And if it is a little bit of a softer roam game, Ollie, this is where Jackal can really ruin your day. You know, if you're stuck in a position that you know you've got a guy to your right, a guy to your left, a Jackal ping can be one of the worst things to come in. So watch out for that operator, watch this space, because it can definitely be an influencer on the round 100%.
Again, the lack of a Thatcher. You know, you think about a Jackal, a Finker. There are a couple of picks there that are a little bit off meta, but Lukin is going to make it work. Charges up those main stairs under the Finker boost. It allows a big entry. Souls is going to fall, the solid support player for FaZe. The Toxic Babe canisters removed with him as well. Cyber is able to gather a bit of information here on the drone. He knows exactly where Felipox is going to be. Obviously, the drone captured by Mozzie. He's able to feed in a lot of information. Bullet can now start to make a bit of an approach, and we are going to see a gunfight ensue. Both players chunked right down to around 10 or 15 HP. Bullet thinks better of it and realizes, you know what, I might make a full rotation, try to get myself back to the site safely here, as MIBR are running out of time.
Yeah, and they've actually started to rotate away from what they were trying to take. You can see a man now in 90 window, and I think Cameraman is in the scariest position right now for MIBR. You have a mute below with a C4 who can nade your planter, and I'm sure there's probably going to be information. There's going to be a Valkyrie camera somewhere to feed that back. Cameraman swings, eliminates Lukin on main stairs. Rats will find Cyber, and now this is where it can get very sketchy. MIBR now pushing into the bomb site, but they need fouls. They need to get that diffuser in a good position. He's walked straight through sight to kill that single man. Oh, they all line up for Astro. A collateral, I believe, Ollie. And a reduct. Oh, what do you do from here? That's going to be a stinger of a round. FaZe Clan, hold on just in time. Ollie, think it rushed through sight to get to the other side of sight and then kill a man. And he wasn't challenged. What's going on?
It's one of those rounds that the teams will watch back and FaZe will watch it and go, we were so lucky to get that round, and MIBR will go, we were so unlucky to not get that round. Really one that hung in the balance and could have gone either way. The collat there lining up for Astro, all he's got to do is hold mouse 1 and control his recoil to some degree. You're going to get those 2 kills there. Time running out for MIBR. I'm not sure if the Jackal was the play, I'll be honest with you. Already we're seeing that that being picked out of. That was a big engagement. I think it was really the start of, not the start of the end, but it was almost the start of the end where we saw Philippox battling with Bullet on those main stairs. But just a messy all round. This is the collat as it comes through as well. So unfortunate indeed. As Astro is just given such a nice opportunity there when presented with it. You've just got to take it with both hands and run. I think we saw something fairly similar last week, if memory serves correct. But in the meantime, FaZe will go up 4 rounds to 3.
Oh, that was a spooky round for both sides. Didn't really know which way it was going to tip. Obviously, Ollie, you mentioned the Jackal, saying it's not a good pick. I mean, in that scenario, that is a great pickup as a Jackal. But why wasn't the Jackal finding the pings? Like, why was he not downstairs hunting? If you think about the position of Cameraman, Cameraman was on the flank. He was downstairs in Art Studio, and he was able to walk up the main stairs and get a freebie. How is he not being spotted out? It is very, very strange to see MIBR not utilize the utility that they have and then just kind of fumble at the end. So, FaZe Clan, they move over in towards their statuary defense. MIBR are a team that get right to the chase, Ollie. They don't mess around. They take what they want, and they usually get it. I think they'll play this plain and simple. I don't think there'll be anything too flashy from them. I think the flashiest you'll get from MIBR this round, Ollie, is somebody jumping in Wolf Window. That is it. That is the biggest craziness you'll see from them. Everything else will be very, very default.
Well, let's see how it does play. Great impact trick coming in from way downtown. Souls is all the way near statuary door. Knows he's not going to be able to get the Selma at the bottom. Still one Selma remains.
Selma gives them absolutely nothing. Because what do you see from a pronal? You don't see anything. So that's not going to be good from for MIBR whatsoever. And you can see that Souls, he knows that. He's just going to wait for the next one.
Cyber. He's going to kick things off there with a kill in onto Rats. I'm waiting for this flash demo. I think it needs to happen sooner rather than later. You know, you bring a Thatcher, you expect to get that wall open. That doesn't happen. The Selmas have now all been spent. Sure, we've got Philippox on the skeleton key, but what damage is he realistically going to be able to do? Maybe makes a rotation downstairs. Finally, we see a hop in from Luke. He gets himself into bathroom. He's still got Cyber to deal with. Now, Luke is trying to bait out that player on those main stairs. Philippox will be coming up from the lower part as well. Cyber knows this. He's got the sound cue and he's going to be ready to take this engagement. But the Malusi is not kind. It's going to slow Philippox down and allow Cyber to push through and get that kill. Now, the travesty around all of that is that Luke wasn't in a position to push in from elsewhere and couldn't pinch Cyber. Fowls has found himself too and may have just salvaged this round, but there's still work to do, Demo, in the 15 seconds.
Yeah, and at this stage, I think FaZe are in great positions. With that wall not being opened up, it's just Swing City from Bullet. Finds to Cyber with the other. FaZe being able to see that one out very, very easily. If that wall isn't open, Ollie, you do not win that round. You just do not. Sloppy. Very, very sloppy from MIBR. They're bringing the Thatcher. They probably look at that triple wall and say, oh, they don't have the Cade. Well, we can just throw the Selmas down straight away. No issues. Impact tricking is always going to be a thing. This is one of the best maps for impact tricking is Villa. And for MIBR to not be ready for that, it is disappointing.
You've got to have another plan when it comes to, you know, how you're going to deal with that player. As soon as you even get the idea that an impact trick is on the cards, you need to halt all progress until that is dealt with. You know, it's nice to get the wall open nice and early, but it is by no means a requirement. There's no realistic time limit on that. You can open the wall with 30 seconds left if you have to, as long as the wall gets open. That's maybe something that MIBR didn't consider there in that round, because they had lost the utility very early on. There are still other things that they could be bringing here. They could still be looking to bring double hard breach. You know, it sounds crazy. I know that Hibana's banned, but there are other options here if you feel like the impact tricking is going to be too much, and just try and bait that utility out.
FaZe, they have a bit of a buffer zone, Ollie. They have a 2-round gap, which we haven't seen yet inside of this game as a team actually take full charge of the matchup. But it's happened for FaZe. FaZe and their Capcan. Ollie, I know you like this operator. I know you think this is a good pick.
Anything else to add, or have I just got to come back and agree?
All you need to do is agree, and then I'll hit you with the punchline.
I agree.
You're wrong. There's the punchline.
Oh, man.
It's just, I just think there's just better choices than Capcan. For what he is, sure, you might get some chip damage, maybe a little bit of information if you hear an explosion across the map, but I don't really see Capcan have that much impact compared to other operators that you would bring. I look at the lineup, and you're thinking, okay, where's your smokes coming in from? I always think, especially for Villa, like, Smoke is going to be a great addition. I think Pulse would be a good one. We've seen how good Pulse was working out for Team 1 earlier. I just think there's better choices than Capcan. I always see Capcan as a bit of a pick if things aren't going well for you. Because if you're falling for Capcan traps, it's a bit of a worry if you're professional at the game, you know?
It's always that thing that catches people off guard, you know, and I think that's really what FaZe are maybe looking for here. It's the middle of the game. There's not really a lot of chance that you're going to be looking so directly for those Capcan traps on every single doorway. FaZe have brought a lot of explosives this time as well. They've brought 4 C4s, so they're really looking to try and deal with MIBR at an arm's length. The wall into closet will start to be opened. Raps is going to be on the astronomy rappel trying to do something, but it's going to be Redo to find that opening engagement. Takes down Cyber. Souls, Nitro in hand, is not going to be successful. But for all that the Nitro cells have been brought, we haven't seen a single one land yet. Bullet is the only player that has one left in pocket. It's a bit of a whoopsie, considering you bring in 4. You should really hope to be getting a couple of kills out of those.
I don't know if you noticed that, Ollie. I think Fleapox, the Goyo shield right beside him, got blown up, and he almost died from it. So that would have been a bit of a blunder from MIBR if that was to go down. Now we see the hard breach start to come into play. Fals will open up that pantry wall, and Astro isn't even going to go for the shot onto it. He's going to let it fully open, maybe give himself a rotate, could maybe abuse that himself. Fleapox eliminate Souls, and MIBR have full control at this stage, Ollie. If they wanted, they could just walk on the site and completely blitz their way in. Bullet finds one back, and yeah, here comes MIBR. They're going to try and go for the defuse. Astro cannot find the angle. It's going to have to be planted, and as soon as he peeks up, which should happen, Astro should be able to get a freebie, and there it is. And now it's going to be a 1 versus 3. All of a sudden, Ollie, FaZe are back in the lead. Raps has the diffuser planted, but he's up against 3 heavy hitters for FaZe, and he can't even find one. FaZe, what a retake.
Nerves of steel there from FaZe. They've really done a great job. I particularly love how Astro just let the plant go down. He'll have been wishing that he had a C4 for that moment. But instead it was just like, you want to get the plant down? Go ahead. What are you guys going to be able to do? You're not going to be able to hold it. FaZe displaying some excellent siege here tonight, especially compared to their performance last week. Currently sit on match point, 6 rounds to 3. MIBR need 3 rounds here to try and claw this back, to take this to an overtime, to guarantee themselves some points. FaZe, since getting on the defense, have just ran away with this thing. There's not a lot that MIBR have been able to do. They've not been able to find all too many successes. And for for all the wacky sort of talk about cap cans and the fact that FaZe brought 4 C4s in that last round and we didn't see a single C4 kill, it all matters not. You know, there is nothing that matters aside from that thing at the top, and that is the scoreboard, and FaZe, they're on match point.
I really didn't expect FaZe to come in and just do the job today, Ollie. FaZe have looked very good. Sure, they had a few issues sometimes on the attacks, but still, they had a 3-3 split. That was good from them today, and this defense, they just taking control off them. I would say you have to put doubts now on MIBR and thinking, okay, what have these guys been doing on their attacks? Because that last round, it was a throw. They should have won that round, hands down. They were in a position where they were 5 versus 3. They had upstairs control. They had the diffuser down. At that stage, you never lose that. You just sit back, and the defenders then have to play catch-up. But, I don't know, MIBR kind of collapsed. We didn't really get to see what happened above Ollie, so we don't have a great picture. But from what we've seen on site, lack of information. The drones were not there from MIBR. I don't think they droned outside at all.
Lack of information is not really a good enough excuse either, especially if you're going to be bringing the Iana. You need to be making use of those Geminis, and you've got so many opportunities to get those out there and to gather that intel. MIBR just needing to do a little bit better in that regard. Wicked, as if on cue, is going to be in the Gemini, just droning out the bottom there of those main stairs. Cyber, of course, playing at the top, assisted with a deployable and a couple of ADSs as well. MIBR have all the tools that they need here. Try and either get the vault wall open or try and pressure in through study. Their initial approach is going to be toward that study area. We can see both Felipox and Lukid in below. Cyber tempted for a little bit of a peek. Utility will be removed there. It just gives the option to move through and to access those main stairs later. In the meantime, I think Felipox is just going to turn his attention vertically. Use the skeleton key and try and disrupt those site players.
Look, we'll use the C4 to try and open up vertical and maybe try and fight against Felipox below. Astro, there's the first kill. Will there be more following up after that? Lukid gone. Yes, there will be. Cyber, a massive swing, eliminates the player outside of study. Fals does find a refrag, so they battle back just a little bit, Ollie, but a lot of damage being done so far in the early stages. A minute to go for MIBR. They're all stacked up outside of study now. Starting to rotate towards main stairs, but there's still vertical holes that can be played. Nope, nobody from FaZe will try and challenge using those holes, and now they do have the top main control, but Ollie, that's all they have. They don't have anything else, and surely at this stage, you would expect an easy roundup for FaZe. They have 90 control still. They have players in behind bar. If anyone tries to plant maps, they have a bulletproof to know about it. FaZe have everything going for them right now.
They really do. They've even got Bullet in position to make a drop and to try and make a flank as well if required. Felipox going to be trying to fight onto that vertical, but just gets faced with a load of lead. The Souls is going to be able to back him off for the time being. Fals does take down Bullets. That's a little mini win here for MIBR, and there's still 20 seconds that do remain. Astro going to be playing inside of the vault. Toxic Babe canisters just cutting off Felipox here as he's not going to be able to push on through. Kill comes through there for Astro. Can he make it too? He certainly confirms the down. The final kill comes in from Cameraman. That's going to be FaZe taking Villa here against MIBR.
Well, FaZe, come in, do the business on the defense, not dropping a single round for the defenders. MIBR showed up today and they were just not here. The attack's not working for them. Astro hitting hard, Cameraman hitting hard. 7-3, and I think it deserves 7-3 for how FaZe played today.
It was. It represents the siege that we saw really well. You know, MIBR could not attack today. They did not attack very well at all. On the contrary, FaZe did fantastically. They were able to come away with the win there. Really nice to see Astro have a good game. I think he's a guy that's potentially got a lot of pressure on his shoulders. We maybe pose that question to Cameraman if we get him in for an interview. Astro had a pretty standout stage 2. And I think that for him to, you know, start off stage 3 fairly rocky last week, and then to be able to come out and put in a good performance here and now this week, is really going to mean a lot for those guys. I know they put a lot of work in, and that's going to be a win that they are going to be more than happy to take, especially with how comfortable it was, Demo.
Yeah, it was. I think FaZe came in, like I said, a couple of issues on the attack, but the defense looked so easy for them and never really looked under pressure apart from that one kitchen ram. But then again, they had a fantastic retake. So I think FaZe just ticked all the boxes today.
They really did. Chunks, get yourself back in here. Let's have